Good evening, Malolele. I'm Douglas Talau from Tonga. During this presentation of ET 152, our second assignment focusing on human development based on Western theories, my social cultural context, and looking at the current perspectives. Human development is how people develop, change, and grow throughout their lives. Coconut plant is familiar in the Pacific Islands. Coconut or copra were the main income of every household in the past years. Its significance is very important for the development for its development to represent our human life development as shown here in slide 1. With our Western theories, I will be focusing on Jean Piaget and Erik Erikson. Jean Piaget, a Swiss psychologist known for being the most influential figure in human development. He believed that children's intelligence undergoes changes as they grow, and it occurs in 4 stages of learning, which focuses on understanding how the child acquires knowledge and intelligence. The first stage is sensory-motor stage, from birth to 2 ages. Children are here learn through their 5 senses. They take in the world by hearing, looking, touching, grasping, and mouthing. In this figure, it illustrates a baby start crawling to explore his environment. The second stage is pre-operational stage, from 2 to 7 ages. Language are developed, memories and imaginations as well. They learn best by doing things, imitation and playing. They have symbolic thinking. Pre-operational stage, as shown here in figure 3. The third one is concrete operational, from 7 to 11 ages. Children can identify similarities and differences of an object. They make reasoning. Thus, a child compares the same amount of water, but in different sizes of these classes. The last stage is formal operational, from 11 years and older. Children in this stage are able to think of different solutions to solve a problem. They are able to think carefully before they act or do something. From the classroom, this girl here can do problem solving or solve this equation. With Erik Erikson, he was a Danish chairman, American psychologist. His psychological development theory let us view the development of a person through an entire lifespan. He believes that a person passes through a series of 8 developmental stages that build on each other. The first one is trust versus mistrust. This picture illustrates a baby's trust upon his mom or the caregiver. The second one is autonomy versus shame and doubt. The third one is initiative versus guilt, which children start exploring their environment and apply more over their choices, as illustrated in figure 8. The fourth one is industry versus inferiority. Fifth is identity versus confusion. The sixth is intimacy versus isolation. 7, generativity versus stagnation. And the last one is integrity versus despair. It's from 65 years and older. It's the final stage of Erikson development. And this is late adulthood. Pride in what you've achieved leads to feeling of satisfaction. This slide shows integrity is the feeling that life has been well spent. And despair is a feeling of making the wrong decision in life. Let's move on to my social cultural context. I will be talking or focusing on 5 areas which is important for me to discuss in this presentation. The first one is life working skills. Growing up in Tonga, development depends mainly at home. We got to learn to make a living on our own. When academic work or schooling is not successful or fail, we can make a living through our skills such as cooking, fishing, making tapa, weaving, farming, crafting, etc. In this slide, these women are making tapa. And in here, this lady is weaving. They can sell their products in the market or exporting for the family's income. These working skills are not taught at school, but it passes on to generation through communication, observing, practical and from the guiding and assistance from grandparents and parents as well. All these work skills are the preparations of the child's future to survive and to prolong and maintain our Tongan skills and tradition. The second area is prenatal stage and early childhood development. Prenatal development and early childhood development are everyone's business in the family and in the community. A pregnant mother assisted closely by a midwives for the do's and the don'ts for the baby's safety and perfect development in the womb. She is choosy of what to eat, and then everybody contribute for the safety of the baby. When baby is born, it's the grandmother's turn to advise and helping the mother handling the baby with care and love. They believe the child's attitudes is shaped up by what the mother did during pregnancy. These pictures, this young mom holding her newborn baby, and in this picture here, a grandmother's role of taking care of the newborn baby. The baby starts his learning even when he can't speak, he can't understand. But the counseling begins, where good behavior is whispered to the ears, for they believe he hears and touches heart. Language use, attitudes, clothing, the child's life depends on everybody around him. The next area is language and cultural values. A Tongan child learns his language or mother tongue from his or her mom's womb. What he hears his mother speaking is the language he is born with, and so started learning. The child first comprehended what was around him through hearing and observing his mother and family. Tongan language is unique, for it defines our identity and who we are. It is divided under different categories according to our social status. Language used for king is totally different. The nobles and chiefs are different as well, and for commoners and people. It teaches us our cultural values to know who we are. Although here are the king's household, and these are some people representing the commoners. Although we are created in the image of God as same people, but our language defines us according to our ranking and social status. The last area is traditional dancing and Tongan attire. Traditional dancing are not only for entertainment, but as well as a form of communication which conserve our culture and tradition, where history is recorded and passing on to this generation through the song and the lyrics or the wording of the songs that are used in the faiva or the dancing. Well-known group traditional dancing called Laka Laka. The lyrics of the songs used in the Laka Laka record the history and place it to our generation today. Here, these women represent our Tongan attire with the kiekie and the tupenu. Traditional attire simply reveals who we are by wearing our traditional costumes, kiekie, tavala, and tupenu. A look at our current perspectives. Today, human development goes along with this civilized world. It changes our traditions as well. People are very well adapted to this modern world, and our culture context is fading. It clearly shows in our tongue and attire replaced by Western clothing. These people represent our tongue and traditional attire compared to the Western clothes which mostly our youth enjoy and favors today. People are heavily relying on this Western education and its skills and experience to replace our traditional life skills and knowledge of certain tasks that traditionally passed on from our ancestors. And here our Tongan earth oven, Omu, and the modern oven of this Western, this modern world. Vygotsky's theory strongly outlined the importance of culture and roles in the community, like our traditions. He states that culture is significant in learning. Individuals learn best and develop within their roles in the community, and language is the root of culture. Human development is very important for us to know. It gives us better understanding so we know and aware of the changes in our lives and face the challenges we have in life. But I believe some of the changes and improvement in this Western life should not hinder our ability to maintain and conserve our traditional cultures. But overall, human development helps us have more knowledge about life and to know who we are. Thank you for viewing and listening of Adu.